Thank everyone for joining Tomer and I today. Over the next 15 to 20 minutes, we plan on discussing 5 ways technology can help you prepare and profit for the holiday season. To introduce myself, my name is Michael and I'm a sales engineer here in our New York City office. Sales engineers wear many hats at the company, but my core objective is to ensure that Lightspeed is going to be a great fit for our retailers' needs. I spend my days speaking with different retailers and really trying to understand the problems that they face, walking them through demonstrations of our different platforms, and ultimately trying to solve the different pain points that they have.
Hey everyone, my name is Tomer and I manage the customer growth team at Lightspeed. The customer growth specialists have exploratory conversations with our existing customers where we discuss their problems and struggles and see how we can overcome these struggles using technology.
Today we plan on discussing a few different topics. We're going to talk about e-commerce and social selling, analytics and mobile registers, gift cards and loyalty. Throughout the presentation, if you have any questions about anything we covered today, feel free to chat them in during the presentation in the chat or the questions box. We have reserved time at the end for Q&A and to answer all of the questions throughout, but let's go ahead and get started.
Thanks, Michael. So the first thing we want to talk about is e-commerce, and specifically how e-commerce can help independent retailers and how it can help independent retailers during the holiday season. Now, we all know the stats, the high-level stats about e-commerce, how it's getting bigger every year, how it's capturing more and more market share, yet 46% of independent retailers do not have a website. And I have these conversations with customers every day about why they don't have an online presence. And the concerns that I often hear is that independent retailers feel like they can't compete with the big box stores that have massive online budgets. They can't price match with Amazon. They can't rank high in organic searches on Google. They just feel like the project is above their capabilities. And you know what I try to talk to them about is how e-commerce is different for a small independent retailer than it is for a big box store. The advantages are different and the usage is different. And I always like to take it back to my own experiences shopping. I mean, I'm a big shopper. I love to go to independent stores and find cool, uncommon items. And about 2 years ago, I was in Italy with my wife. We were traveling in Tuscany and we were in this beautiful Tuscan town, much like the town that you guys see on the screen right now. And if you haven't been to Tuscany before, these little villages, you know, they're very charming. They have a lot of character. They have a church, a sculpture studio, art galleries, and these really small artisanal gift stores that are really, really cool. And in one of those gift stores, me and my wife found a marble chess set that we both really loved. The price was right, and we wanted to purchase the item. But then we started to wonder about the logistics of it. Like, how are we going to get this marble chess set back to our hotel room and eventually back to our home in Canada? I mean, we still had 3 perfect, picturesque Tuscan towns to visit today, and we definitely didn't want to carry a chess set with us all day long. So we actually asked the store owner what she recommended. And she said that she doesn't expect tourists to leave her store with bags full of items. And then she gave us a business card with a website on it and said that the pricing on the site are the same as the store and they ship worldwide. And that was incredible for me. And by the way, there were other stores that we went to in other villages that had the same method. They had a business card with a website on them. They were all online. And this story resonates with the independent retailers that we talk to, because it really captures the strength of independent retail about curating those specific items. I mean, I could have went online and Googled a marble chess set and I would have found thousands of options, but it wouldn't have been that marble chess set that me and my wife fell in love with. And once you create that magical experience in your store, then it's a question of logistics, about how to get these items back to your home. And it's not always feasible to just grab an item and leave the store. With a lot of independent stores, you have people that happen to wander into your store. They weren't planning on it. And then if you gave them a really positive experience, they still might not purchase an item because the logistics are lacking. I mean, research shows that out of all of foot traffic, only 20% leave with a product from the store. Now those 80% are not wasted. You've made an impression on them, but then offering multiple channels where these shoppers can make their purchases can be the difference between making that sale or losing it. Okay, so let's take a step back and talk about the practical steps that you can take to launch a first-time online business. And whenever I talk to small retailers that never had an online presence, I always tell them that they can start small. You know, you don't have to load up all of your items. You don't have to have a massive plan that you know is big budget and that will cover all of your online needs right away. Like, gone are the days where you need to talk to a web developer and spend tens of thousands of dollars to get an online store off the ground. Nowadays, there's a lot of options for independent retailers to get the tools that they need to launch an online store quickly and without having to know that in-depth web design knowledge. And if you are starting small, you can just upload a handful of your items, the items that you think are the most unique and the most popular. And you can think of it as your window display. Just like in your own store, you would put your most enticing items in the front to invite people to come in. That's how you should look at your online store as well. And it could and should be a work in progress. Whenever you have some free time, you can add to the online store. And in the meantime, you're accumulating SEO as you go. Now, e-commerce is not just valuable before and during the holidays, it's also valuable after the holidays. Now, what a lot of the big box stores know, companies like Gap and J. Crew and Hudson's Bay, is that after the holidays, consumers suffer from what we call retail exhaustion. They spend so much time in brick and mortar stores, waiting in line, you know, fighting the crowds to get discounted items. They just want to lay off brick and mortar for a little while. And what these big brands do is they have online only post-holiday sales. And independent brands can definitely learn from them. I mean, I know that we're not talking about these brands in this webinar, but they do shape customer expectations. And it's also a great way to get rid of overstock. So if you purchase too many items, you could just put them online, discount them for post holidays, and then they're not just sitting in your store until March when foot traffic picks up again. So in summation, e-commerce is valuable for independent retailers in a different way than it's valuable for big box. You know, the battleground is different. It's valuable before the holidays and post-holiday season. And there's a lot of options to kind of shortcut your way there. And if you want to learn more about that, you can talk to the customer growth team at Lightspeed. We'll be happy to discuss it further. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the power of social media, and especially the power of social media with independent retail. Now, social media is an inexpensive way for you guys to interact with your customers and for you guys to market your store without having to spend those big marketing dollars that the big box stores do. And you know, people expect indie brands to have a social presence. It helps your community interact with you, and it helps people support you guys even if they're not making a purchase. You know, if people like your merchandise, if they think it's really unique, they can take pictures of it, load it up to Facebook, share it with their friends. If people think that your storefront is really beautiful and really contributes to their neighborhood, they can take a picture of that and put it up on Instagram. I mean, no one's uploading pictures of Kmart, but they could upload pictures of your storefront if it's very special. So the other reason why social is really important now is the concept of social selling. And this is a relatively new concept where you can use your social platform to sell items directly to your end users. And the big winner in social selling is by far Facebook. About 85% of social sales belong to Facebook, and they dominate industries like photography, sports and rec, jewelry, and pet supplies. So if you're any of those industries, you definitely want to bulk up your Facebook presence, and you might want to consider adding a Facebook store. And by the way, when I do e-commerce demos for Lightspeed customers, the feature that they all gravitate towards is the Facebook store. And it's because it's very easy to implement. It's just a number of steps, and it's building up on something that you already have in place. You don't need to think about your theme and you know, the other million things that go into deciding your online website. With Facebook, you can just launch it, and it's a channel for your customers to just go onto the Facebook page, click on the online store, and start making purchases. So in summary, social is something that you guys should be focusing on. You should be using it to advertise your holiday sales and your holiday discounts. And you may or may not want to consider implementing a social selling system as well. And now I'm going to send it back to Michael, who's going to talk to you guys about specific reporting that can help you during the holiday season, and how to cut down on those lineups by using mobile registers.
Thanks, Tomer. Hey, everyone. Yeah, as Tomer mentioned, I plan on talking with you about our analytics product and mobile registers, but ultimately how you can leverage big data and mobile solutions to empower your customers to spend more during the holiday season. So it's pretty clear at this point that year over year, holiday spending has steadily increased. And you as a retailer, I want to make sure that you can leverage as much as possible using different technologies that are available to you to capitalize on that increase in holiday spending. So from a big data perspective, understanding what you have in store and really be able to leverage the data that you've collected in your system from previous seasons and years will allow you to be confident heading into the coming months. Lightspeed Analytics is a tool that's going to help you quickly manipulate your data into actionable reports that won't only just save you time, but it's going to give you better insights into where to place your focus and really where to place your efforts in the coming weeks that lead up to the holiday season. From an analytics perspective, I want to talk to you about a few different reporting ideas and maybe a few suggestions to help you get prepared for the holiday. The first would be simply running a marketing report from the previous holiday season to help you identify customers who bought from certain categories and certain inventory items that are relevant to your business. One, this is going to allow you to identify what people purchased in the past and really what were the more popular items. And this will help influence your purchasing decisions. You can compare what you currently have in stock versus what you plan on ordering and where the demand sits. And that'll help you create some sort of offer or promotion to target the clients that shopped with you in the past to incentivize them to come back into your store. Second would be identifying the current state of your inventory, specifically the inventory that may be a little bit older or aged, so you can prepare for a big holiday clearance sale. We all know during the holiday season, a very large percentage of customers typically will only go into a store if they have some sort of holiday sale going on. And a large percentage of the customers even shopping during the holiday season typically only even purchase products that are on sale. So you as a retailer being able to leverage all of that older or aged inventory that you currently have in stock and creating some sort of buzz or incentives just to get your customers excited about coming into your store will allow you to capitalize on not only getting rid of some of that aged inventory, but ultimately selling a mixture of new and aged inventory that won't be as heavily discounted. From here, you're going to be able to identify how often your employees are capturing customer information. Capturing customer information during the holiday season is critical. One, you're going to have a large influx of customers shopping with you for the first time. So being able to capture all of that customer information will benefit you later on. And two, it's going to allow you, even after the holiday rush, as Tomer was talking about, to capitalize on sending them specific promotions and offers about products that they would like via e-commerce. Lastly, probably the simplest approach to using data to influence and help sales during the holiday season is running a sales report from the last holiday. You can look at this data by vendor or by category to help you identify what your most popular sellers and more popular items are. And then you can cross-reference that with your current state of inventory to see what you have on hand. And this will help you start planning out your purchasing for the season to come, so you're not over-ordering and left with a lot of over-existing inventory. We have a great customer example. So one of my clients is a bike store, and every holiday season, he creates a labor special. The labor special is threefold. He has one for a full bike tune-up, one for a suspension tune-up, and one for a brake tune-up. And the goal of this isn't necessarily to allow people to get their bike tuned up during the holiday season, but it's an incentive to drive them into the bike store. Then he's going to use analytics to track the performance of this special week over week, following the kind of correspondence of the last season. And it helps him identify not only how much he's selling of that labor special, but while they're in store, how much total add-on and value does that labor special drive? If people are coming in to have their bike tuned up, maybe they buy an accessory as a present for one of their friends while they're in store. So the takeaway from this is allowing data to help you track how either your holiday specials are doing and just ultimately what the impact of that results for your business. At the end of the day, analytics is going to make it convenient for retailers to not only analyze the data from previous holidays, but really understand which types of items to stock, what types of discounts to offer, and even how to estimate how many employees to schedule for the busy season. Next, I want to like to discuss kind of the use of mobile registers during the holiday season and how that can really impact your sales. So I think we can all relate as shoppers and retailers to the following scenarios. Anytime I notice a long line, three things come through my mind. One, a long line could be a deterrent to look in the store at all. I may not want to go in if I know I'm going to be waiting upwards of 15 minutes to purchase a product. Two, it could be a possibility that I go into the store, I find a few items that I like, but while I'm sitting there in line, I'm starting to reconsider if I really need the items or if it's worth the wait. Or three, potentially I find items I really like, I do wait in the long line, but ultimately that leaves a bad experience. I don't want to come into the store, find an item, have to wait for a long time, and then have a negative experience and decide never to shop with you. During the holiday season, everyone feels a little bit overwhelmed. So your job as a retailer is to make it very convenient for your customers to come and shop with you. Being able to remove or even eliminate extremely long lines will not only result in your customer being happy, but probably having a positive experience and coming back into the store in the future. So by leveraging Lightspeed's iPad application, you're going to be able to add a lot of mobility to your stores. And this could only be during the couple months of the holiday season, but the iPad application will allow you to provide a 100% mobile solution, which is going to eliminate any customers reconsidering their purchase while waiting in line, or potentially even abandoning their purchase in general. For your information, mobile registers aren't anything new. Big box retailers like Nordstrom Rack have been using them for years. The biggest deployment in recent was Nordstrom Rack, and in the years between 2012 and 2013, they implemented this technology across all of their locations, and they immediately saw a 15% increase over that period of time, looking at the previous year. Not only will it increase your sales because customers don't have to wait as long, it's going to give your store or your boutique a nice forward-thinking look and feel, and allows your customers to understand that you're leveraging technology to help them throughout the way. But ultimately, the more mobility and the more technology you can leverage during the holiday season will aid in the success and the overall spending of your customers. I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Tomer.
Thanks, Michael. That was great. So the next thing I want to talk about is gift cards during the holiday season. I don't want to spend too much time talking about the usual stats that we all know. I mean, we all know that some credit on gift cards goes unused, which is valuable for the providers of those gift cards. We know that people tend to spend more money than what's on the actual gift card when they go to the store. But what I really want to talk about is how gift cards are uniquely valuable for independent businesses during the holiday season. And again, I like to think back to my own habits when I'm shopping during the holiday season. And for my inner circle, my wife, my sister, my best friend, I know these people enough to feel confident in choosing a gift, an exact item that I know they'll appreciate and enjoy. But when I think about my second circle of friends or third circle of coworkers and acquaintances, I might not know them well enough to commit to an actual item. I mean, there's a lot of risk there. But if I did my job as a friend, I've picked up on a little bit of their habits, their passions, their hobbies. And if I can find an independent store that relates to one of those passions or hobbies, a gift card from that store is a very thoughtful gift. It's not just the value of the gift card that you're giving. We like to see it as gifting an experience. So, if a colleague of mine is a big fan of scrapbooking, and I found a store that has a nice scrapbook area, I can give her a gift card for that store, and it shows that I was thinking about her, that I listened when she was talking about her passion, and it'll provide an amazing experience for her. So if you guys are already using gift cards, just remember to stock up during the holiday season so you don't run out. And if you've never used gift cards before, I would recommend that you test it out this season and see if your customers are interested in it. The next thing I want to talk about is loyalty programs. And what's really interesting is that technology is changing the way loyalty programs operate. especially when it comes to carrying a physical item. People hate carrying, punch cards or branded credit cards. Again, I think about myself when someone at a store tries to give me a card, I know right away that I don't want it. I don't want to carry it. I don't want to have to find room in my wallet for it. And I definitely don't want to have to remember to bring it next time I make a purchase in the store. But customers are still very much interested in a loyalty program that rewards them for their continued patronage. And nowadays, these new loyalty softwares, they can integrate with your point of sale, they can integrate with your e-commerce, and they can provide immediate feedback for your customers. In the way of, imagine someone makes a purchase in your store or on your online store, and right away they get an email or a text message saying, thank you for purchasing this item. Here's 25 loyalty points. By the way, when you reach 50 loyalty points, you'll be eligible for a discount or a free item. Okay, so that's very compelling. That creates what we call a low commitment, high engagement experience with your customers. And that's what's becoming more and more popular nowadays. Now, the two reasons why loyalty programs are valuable in the holiday season is, one, during the holiday season, you get a larger influx of customers that you might not see year round. And that's when you want to capture their data. Just like Michael was talking about when he mentioned analytics, you want to capture that customer information so that you can track customer trends and so that you can create specific marketing campaigns that are very specialized for what these customers will be interested in hearing about. And the other reason is the sheer number of products that customers buy during the holiday season. On average, an American consumer buys 16 gifts during the holidays. That's an enormous number. And you can imagine that if this consumer knows that in your store, they're gaining loyalty points, they might be tempted to buy one or two more items in your store as opposed to another store, knowing that they're getting some loyalty points for themselves that they can either spend on themselves or they can use it for someone else on their holiday shopping list. So in summation, the new loyalty points, the ones that integrate with your point of sale and e-commerce and create a really seamless interaction with your customers are on the rise. They're really valuable during the holidays to capture data and to encourage your consumers to buy more gifts in your store. So guys, thank you very much for joining us for this webinar. And just keep in mind that this is the season of giving. And at Lightspeed, we recommend that you give your customers the convenience of shopping online, that you give your customers the ability to gift an experience with a gift card, that you give them shorter wait times using these mobile registers, and that you give them loyalty points. Okay, well guys, thanks a lot for joining me and Michael today. We do appreciate your time. You can find more information about everything that Lightspeed offers on lightspeedhq.com. And once again, I do invite you to reach out to the customer growth team. We'll be happy to have these conversations with you guys. And happy holidays.
Thanks, everyone. Great luck. Take care.